And we're in, and we're in. It's always weird that we jump in, making sure that, like, hey, the thing that we're doing works. The music's playing. It's live.
Yeah.
People are
Even
here.
though we've been talking for like a little bit.
We almost did like a quarter of a podcast before we even hit. I was gonna say record, but live slash.
Yeah, we talked about
record?
shit we weren't even going to talk about tonight. Like, you watch Saturday Night Live, apparently.
My wife and I have
And
started
nobody
watching
does that
Saturday
anymore?
Night Live. I beg to fucking differ. I do look at the views on YouTube. Look at like where it still is. It just
People
won,
are watching
like,
clips.
an Emmy.
People
It just
aren't
won a
staying
fucking
up like
Emmy.
they-
It just won
Yep.
an Emmy. It has viewers.
They're throwing Lorne some favors at this point.
He deserves them. How many characters
at
has he
the
created
old
over the
cast.
years? Think about who's your favorite SNL character? Go.
SNL character or Lorne Michaels character?
Let's go SNL first.
You know which way I'm leaning. I'm going north of the border because I just have to like things that are random. And north of the border, sketch comedy, Lorne Michaels.
Would that be Kids in the Hall? Did he do
Kids
Kids
in
in the
the
Hall? See,
Yeah.
that was a hopeful guess. As much Kids in the Hall that I've watched, I never noticed it was a Lorne Michaels show. I watched so much of that on Comedy Central growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
And all the reruns of it. I've seen so many sketches. I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing your head.
Oh yeah.
But of all this time, I didn't know that was a Lorne Michaels show.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure it is.
Did you ever watch? And we'll go back to Saturday Night Live. Did you ever watch the Upright Citizens Brigade show?
I went back and started watching clips later on when I realized what and who it was.
It's a great cast.
It's a lot of the people from ASSCAT, if you know what ASSCAT is.
I don't know what ASSCAT is.
Look up ASSCAT.
Look up
hilarious.
ASSCAT, he says.
Well,
Look up
wait.
ASSCAT. Okay.
Well, they have a special, I think it's on YouTube or whatever, but the one that I saw that's one of my favorites is basically, it's the Upright Citizens Brigade people, and it's Amy Poehler, and they bring in guests like Horatio a lot of the people you'll know, bit characters from like Reno 911 and shit. And ASSCAT is an improv show, but it's like double improv. So what they do is they bring out a special guest. This night it was Thomas Lennon to start, Dangle from Reno 911.
I love me some Jim Dangle.
And he will do a monologue.
New Boot Goofing.
New Boot Goofing. We'll talk about Left Foot Goofing later. But it's basically he's going to do an improv monologue about something someone in the crowd picks. And they chose medical marijuana, I remember, because he does some funny things.
Okay.
And he starts talking about just a monologue about like his experience, funny things like that. And then after he does like this 3-minute improv funny monologue, the rest of the cast will then do scenes based on his monologue, like from his stories. And so they're now improving off of his improv, and the shit is just
So this is called ASSCAT?
ASSCAT. And
The
it
whole
was
thing
a
is called
live
ASSCAT.
improv show.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a live improv, and it's
Is ASSCAT the
absolutely
name of the
great.
show, or is ASSCAT
That's what
the
they
name
call
of
the
the
show, yeah.
troupe? Like the group?
It's like a live. It's more of their live theater show, but
Okay.
it's a lot of the Upright Citizens Brigade, and I think they even bring it up that it is the Upright
And
Citizens
the
Brigade.
weird part, Upright Citizens Brigade was an interesting mix because it was a sketch comedy show, but it was all the sketches were interlaced with this story of a group who was like an underground team of scientists who I don't know what they were trying to actually do. It was never very clear, but they were doing sciencey things in the background and kept observing parts of society, and that's how they would segue into all these different sketches and all these different worlds.
Do you know what I'm doing in the background?
Getting a drink, but before we do that, we haven't even introduced ourselves.
I'm segueing.
Yet. Your
Yeah, I was doing the
favorite
same thing.
Saturday Night Live character
Ever? God, that's hard. Chris Farley's Matt Foley is so
I was
funny
gonna say if
to
it's
me.
a combo character, you could say the combo characters. If it was like the cheerleaders, that counts as one character.
I forgot about one that would almost be politically incorrect now.
Who?
But when Mike Myers was the special boy with the helmet who was chained to the jungle gym outside, and he would always
Was
do the
that
thing where
Simon?
he's excitable. No, that was the one
No,
where he
Simon was
was naked
the boy
in the
in the
bathtub. I
tub.
like
Well,
to
you
do
know my
drawing.
name is
My
Simon.
Simon. And
And
why do we
love
end up
to
singing
do
on every fucking show?
drawings.
Anyway, hi, you are who?
I'm Mike.
I'm so confused anymore. We just start rambling. I'm Brendan.
This is Thirsty Thursday on
I'm Beardy.
gettingwork.com. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you have not done so already, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y things so we can get the algorithm kicking. Follow on Instagram. He's that dude named Brendan. I'm that dude named Mike. We try to do this show every Thursday at 9 p.m. But
Don't say try. You know what? It's my fault I was late.
Well, because
tonight
we're
a little
1 minute late. Tell them why we're 1 minute late. This is great.
Well, I was 10 minutes late to our normal time because I was.
That's
trying
not
to
the part
finish
I'm worried
something
about.
We're gonna talk. You mean the fact that we already forgot what I drank?
Correct. We've been doing a series of weird sodas for Brendan. You can go on to gettingwork.com or Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your fucking podcasts, to listen or watch the previous episodes of the first 6 sodas, or the first 3. And it turns out we couldn't remember how many he had done. We had remembered enchilada soda. We had remembered...
I remembered the 2 worst, enchilada and mustard, but
Mustard.
I completely forgot what the first one was. And you did too, a little bit.
I kind of remembered after a moment it was peanut butter.
Yeah.
Which we went back, we had to go back and check our own episodes and like the little videos and things to see. But that's why we were 1 minute late. So
Hang on. I got a visitor being a pain right now. You've got to.
this is the first time. This is his first time on the show.
Sammy says hi.
That's
Now he's crossed in the background, or he's yanked a scarf down every now and then, but now he's trying to headbutt the computer screen and knock it forward and make it do that. So we're gonna move him down here for now, and he's gonna probably bite my feet. But yes,
so segueing into it. So what are you drinking?
He's literally just fucking. He's such a pain in the ass. I was thinking, since I'm gonna have, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have an enjoyable evening as much as possible. I'm gonna pick my own shot later, and I'm gonna pick what I'm sipping up front that I know I love. It's that new U-Ball, or not new, but new to me, U-Ball Mezcal again that I love so much. Got myself a little more of a traditional serving dish. I need to get a copita or a terracotta bowl that will eventually take on the flavors of the mezcal.
So,
but for now,
you're the mezcal expert, and I want to ask you this. You know, okay, aficionado, hobbyist.
Whatever. Yeah, we'll go with hobbyist.
Hobbyist.
I
consider myself the same thing for whiskey right now, but
Yeah.
I want to ask you, and if this is a little personal of a question, what price point would you say most of the mezcals you buy are in?
This one I found actually at about. I don't like to spend. If it's gonna be a bottle, I'm gonna sip on regularly. Like if I have something. When was the last time I got something really like nice? Maybe a lot. It might have been like a. Why can I not think of my favorite thing in the tube? The small batch in the tan. I am completely blanking on the name of
Hot sauce.
No, it's bourbon. It was on my shelf at the bar next to the Eagle Rare.
Hudson?
No, it's pricey now, but it wasn't that bad then. It was in the tube. In the tube.
In the tube? Oh, E.H. Taylor?
Small batch. E.H. Taylor small batch. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
God damn.
I don't know why. I don't know why
mind.
you didn't say tube for like the first 4 or 5 times you were trying.
I
to explain
said tube several times.
I missed him saying tube. I thought he said little thing. I thought you said little bottle or little tube, which made me think not.
No.
Made me think it was like a stout bottle. Okay, so
No,
E.H. Taylor.
That and Redbreast 12 were kind of my old go-to pricier things. The U-Ball was, I believe, $39.99.
Okay,
which isn't bad at all.
Not bad at all.
And it's fantastic. Now there are some. I would say you can get a good mezcal from 40 to 60. You can get some that are considered great more than. I like this in between range of the mezcal, because some of the mezcal to me is classic artisan. The farmer's hands are dirty from this. His donkey went and spun it. When George Clooney's brand suddenly comes out with a mezcal, I don't give a shit about it. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean if I want something mass produced, I will go for tequila, because that's what tequila is. It's mass produced. If I want something that is truly like artisanal, that you know whose farm this is coming from and the name of the individual I mean, Mezcal's very much like your bonded whiskeys to me. Like you can follow the path of it, and it should be more in the artisanal. Yeah, I don't want this coming through a factory anywhere.
So that seems to be a big difference maker between whiskey and tequila / mezcal. Tequila mezcal seems to really rebel against the celebrity product market, The Rock and all of these people making tequilas and mezcals. Whiskey, there's that small amount of crossover. Like Matthew McConaughey has a whiskey. A couple other celebrities have smaller batch whiskeys that they put out.
Dan Aykroyd has
there
Crystal
doesn't
Skull
seem
vodka.
to be that backlash in any other spirit category other than agave-based spirits.
Yeah.
Is that the farming?
I think so, because I had heard stories from the mezcalero that taught me about mezcal at the bar that as long he would have tequila bars but wouldn't have Patron in them, because Patron for a while was known for suddenly going to you turning your phone on silent too?
I never turn my phone off silent. My wife hates that, is my fact that my phone is never on noise making mode.
Oh, I've been yelled at for that before. Anyway, so the Patron was known for kind of being dicks, and they would get, because mezcal farmers are, I mean, they're the little man.
Yeah.
And these guys would go to their agave, which has taken 7 years to grow or whatever, and just suddenly put up a fence around it and claim this property is theirs, or buy the land next to it and start taking their agave, and like they would steal from the local mezcaleros and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
As opposed to, like, once again, whiskey, where so-and-so usually goes to a bigger company and says, hey, I need whiskey to put in a bottle with my name on it.
And then they get to do this thing where they go and they taste the individual one.
Yeah. But like, I'm going to do a shot with you before I pour my beer.
Let's open the bottle early so we know what's coming. What do you think?
Oh, you want to do that? I mean, if you open it, you got to start drinking it. Let's do a shot
throughout the rest of the show. Oh fuck! Okay,
let's do a shot first.
We'll hit it later. We'll follow your theme. So yeah,
cheers.
I'm not gonna do a shot. I'll do a shot later on when I do the drink. But you're never supposed to shoot mezcal. If you want to do the number one, it's just don't do a shot of mezcal.
Nice little shot of whiskey to get us started. Some
mezcal's meant to be sipped and
Evan
savored.
Williams out of the dad joke
decanter. History.
So you have your mezcal that you're sipping on. I think it's time for.
Yeah.
I need a beer, because I just went on a beer trip this weekend, and I went a few days without a beer. Now I'm like, I want to get back into some of the beer.
Now we're getting into the thirsty stuff. All right.
But first, we don't have music yet. But once again, it's time for my beer of the week. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, whoa!
We got it. So I went on a trip. As you know, I went to a place that you have like soccer hate for. We're going to ignore soccer hate for a little bit. Pass the Hell is Real sign, by the way. Amazing. I love seeing it. Makes me laugh so hard. Especially because it's in Grand Theft Auto. There's a parody sign on the highway in GTA. But went to Columbus, Ohio. So went there to Columbus. He hates it. Is it just because of soccer? You might not be coming through. You might have muted yourself. You know what,
Hello?
Mike? You know what
Hello?
Mike did? Mike hit a button on his side. Mike has
too much power. You have too much fucking power. This is being silenced by the man.
You know what happened? You know, sometimes your mouse is not. You don't realize where your mouse arrow is, and when
it doesn't have a tail. It's a hamster.
Well, when I moved my mouse pad with the mouse on it to get my beer cooler, I must have hit the button, and it was right over your mute, and I muted you. But now you're back.
Perfect.
So I went on a trip this
Why do
weekend.
you automatically have it hovering on mute over me?
Have you met you?
Fuck off.
So I went to Columbus this weekend, and I know you got soccer hate for him. But regardless of that, we're going to take the soccer bubble. Look at me. Hey, soccer. We're going to put it over there for right now, all right? So, yes, I hate them.
Oh
Hate the
yeah, yeah.
Columbus Crew.
There's no soccer
Hate
around
the
me.
hate the Columbus Crew. But for this conversation, I want to talk about their lovely beer.
I will try my best.
Their lovely, wonderful beer. I went
Okay.
on a cool trip where I got to go to a bunch of new breweries. I started off the trip with 3 separate breweries that were in Dublin, Ohio. We stayed in Columbus, Ohio, but we spent the first day in Dublin, Ohio. So
Dublin sounds
the
nice.
3 breweries we went to, the first one
Yes.
was North High Brewing, which a couple people might know of. Their products kind of carry down here. It was nice. It was in an old house. We had nachos there. It was pretty decent. Really
I don't know
clean,
if I like
really
their brewery name.
minimalist.
Glad they're clean. Glad they're whatever.
North
Awesome
High?
for them.
What
Congrats.
bothers you with that?
It's just north. It's high on the map.
It's
I
the
don't know.
street
Where did
they're
you come
on.
up with North High?
It's a street.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's North
Yeah.
High Street.
Yeah, they're on North High. It's North High Brewing.
Oh, I was just
Yeah.
like, what should we call ourselves? Northern? That's another.
Oh, you're
brewery.
gonna have fun with the
Okay,
other
well,
2.
we're North High.
So after that, we went to Getaway Brewing. Getaway Brewing is an offshoot of a larger brewery in the area called Seventh Son. But
Both of those sound awesome. I'm gonna go.
Getaway
go to
Brewing
Yeah.
has a theme, an entire
Get away
theme.
from Columbus. Okay, sorry. I'm
It's an
done.
airport. It's an airport in like the 60s or early 70s. Like you're on vacation in like Fiji and you just got to the airport bar. You walk in, it's all the old like material, like it's got that cool like rounded look on everything. There's a gigantic mural against the wall that is miniatures and hand sculpted mountains and painted and everything like that behind glass that looks like you're looking out a window with a plane taking off.
That's
There's
cool.
an entire room, screened off room that's like an international room that they rent for parties. All the booths look like an airport booth. It's fantastic. So my favorite thing to do is to get flights. You know, go to a new brewery, get a flight, try a bunch of beers.
Yeah.
They really went the full 9 with the idea of a flight at Getaway Brewing designed as
God.
an airport.
Is it on a plane?
No, the board was just a nice little curvy, interesting, cool board that said Getaway. It was the same kind of 70s white plastic.
Oh, they're not capitalizing. That's stupid.
Oh,
You have like a little-
no,
you have like a little
hold
tug
on.
cart of luggage, and the luggage
No,
is the different
sir.
flights. All right, go ahead.
They give you a card that you fill out. That's your travel itinerary. That's all of your beers, and they give that back to you. And that's like, here's your flight. And then your flight includes an in-flight snack, and they hand you a personally branded bag of peanuts as your in-flight snack with your flight. Fantastically a cute idea. It was adorable.
Wait. You're telling me that the in-flight snack of, hey, we have peanuts in a bar. Oh my God, it's fucking revolutionary.
They're a cute
Who
little
would've
bag.
thought?
It's a cute little bag with their logo on it. They have like the logo
No.
on the
I
front
want
of
to
the
do a
bag.
flight. I want a plane with little cups to come out, or I want like
No.
a tug with little luggage carts, and each one has a different flight on it. Be fucking creative. Here you go. We've got peanuts.
We're gonna shut an entire city off. But
I'm sorry. No, I really want to try their stuff. I just think that they are not capitalizing enough on the flight. Keep the
You have to go
in-flight
see it.
snack.
we have to
Keep the
go. We're
in-flight
gonna go,
snack.
and you got to see
I have to
it.
go see a bag of peanuts?
You gotta go see the bar, the brewery. It's cool.
No. Okay, well, yeah, but you could capitalize on both together. Do they what? Do they give you half of a Coke too, and you got to ask for the rest?
What was that? Why? What? How does that
Oh,
translate to
they're
half
fucking
a
so
Coke?
stingy. Oh, they're on the planes. They're like, "Would you like a Coke?" Yeah, I would. And they crack it and they pour it in a glass this big that they've crammed full of ice, like they're trying to keep liquor out of it. Like, you sons of bitches! I want the rest of the can.
I think
I would like 2 or 3 cans.
You know, that's not a real airport, right?
Okay.
It wasn't a real
Sorry.
airport. They didn't
apologize.
hurt you.
Okay.
You got airport issues?
I think so.
I have to say
I
so.
might.
So my third brewery,
I went through Atlanta once and it fucked me.
It's taken me forever to open a goddamn can of beer. So the third brewery
go
I
ahead.
went
Sorry.
to
Third
was an
brewery.
amazing
I was gonna
brewery.
wear a Violent Gentleman shirt tonight too. Sorry, just had a
You
moment.
should
that I
have.
realized what you were
Wonderful
wearing.
brand. This is actually
Yeah, sorry.
Black Metal Wayne Gretzky.
I
it's
think
Wayne
you
Gretzky
actually
with
gave
Black
me the
Metal
one
Wayne.
that I was gonna wear. The one with the crisscross looks like the Anaheim Violent Gentleman of Anaheim, and it's got the crisscross sticks and looks like
Oh
the
yeah, it
old
looks like the old
Anaheim
school
Ducks
Ducks logo. I did
Yeah,
give you that.
yeah.
I give you
Yeah,
that.
I think so.
I've probably bought and given away more of their shirts as I got old and fat. Man, I have bought a lot of their shit. I probably right now could pull 10 hoodies out of the closet. I could probably pull out 20 shirts. I
can't
used
wait
to
to
wear
go back to
one
see
of their
when you
hats
brought.
religiously.
I'd like to get back soon and see how long Mike's beer of the week has been on the screen without us even talking about your beer.
Right?
But
So
yes, you were getting to the third brewery. I apologize. I'm going to shut up about your shirt.
the third brewery is a
That's-
fantastic concept. This is a great shirt. The logo, I like the logo that I got.
It is really good.
And my
It's
hat
really good.
is Smoky
It's very
Mountain
kill
Wrestling.
switch engage. Oh, Smoky Mountain. Nice.
It's supposed to look like old black metal bands like Burzum
Yeah.
and like Dark Funeral and shit. But anyway,
Yeah, that's what my thong looks like.
so
I'm just
So
going
my
to keep
beer-
shutting you down with
my
random
beer
thoughts.
is from a brewery called Somewhere in Particular.
Yes,
SIP, Somewhere in Particular.
somewhere in particular.
The location is called Somewhere in Particular. I found out about them because of their collaboration project. Their brewers also
Now, is
do.
the neighborhood called Particular?
No, it's just the name of the brewery. Because check this out. When they do a collaboration, like he'll do beers across the country with other breweries that are available in those areas. When he does those collaborations, they're called Nowhere in Particular.
I love a good thing
That's
like
good
that.
brewing. So
That's nice.
the other thing is I went there and drank a bunch of their beer, and they said, ask us about our 4-packs. They have a few you can buy, but they also were able to, on site, can me anything on the draft line.
Oh,
They
that's
used
cool.
what's the gas that you can put in there that you can spray in there before
Nitrous?
you can it? They did that,
Oh.
and then, or I think it's the same thing for wine. I think.
No, you mean the one to keep it fresh, like
Yes.
the argon? Was it argon?
Argon.
I remember for a while we used you made that experiment at bars with wines. Do you do the
Yeah.
pump? Do you put the air in?
I feel like the pump is the best because at the end of the day, if you're keeping it that long to where you need all the other gimmicks, your wine's too old.
My problem is if you're keeping a bottle that long to where you need the gimmicks, just don't sell wine at your bar.
Yeah.
Or just do individual
Yeah.
little bottles.
Have
Quit
something
with
you
the
can
wine.
rotate. Have something you can
Yeah.
rotate. So this is their Deflategate New England IPA. I got this can there in house.
Is that for Brady?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The
So,
Deflate Gate about the
It's
Brady?
New
okay.
England.
New
It's
England.
a New England
Okay,
IPA, Deflategate. So
Brilliant,
this is
brilliant.
6.5%. Now here's the thing. They did the gas gimmick when they canned it. This is the tightest feeling crowler I've
Yeah.
ever had. Like I feel like the way they did it is going to be really fresh. In fact, we're drinking out of an Alexandria Brewing pint glass, my new pint glass that I received.
Effort for that sponsorship.
Somebody may have sold me that when they weren't supposed to. But we're not going to talk about that. But I want to check and see how fresh this pop is. Hold on. Ooh.
You should sample that sound and use that for Mike's Beer of the Week audio.
That's a great idea.
You are welcome.
So we're going to go ahead
All
and
of
pour
my
this
ideas
guy.
are.
It's got a good color to it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can get 16-ounce cans of whatever they have on draft is fucking fantastic.
That's nice.
This is their New England IPA, 6.5%. I had this there, so I've had this beer before. This isn't the first time I've had this beer, but this is the longest Mike's Beer of the Week we've done yet.
Oh, shit. I'm still getting over something. Is it good?
Nothing makes
Like
me
that one?
happier than draft beer.
Is it got that good, fresh draft feeling?
And it's a New England IPA, but you see, it's not that swimmy hazy. It doesn't look like there's like chunky stuff throughout there. But it's got a nice cloudiness to it. But I'm still able to see all the bubbles moving. Sometimes these New England IPAs are so dense, you can't see shit through them. Those are fine, but those are usually the ones that are super heavy. This one has enough clarity to it to where I feel like I'm going to be able to drink this and not feel like I'm going to poop.
You're gonna poop.
It's my beer of the week.
Yay, beer of the week. You ever been at the brewery when a rep tried to tell you, oh yeah, that's the yeast it'll fix itself in a day or two, and the keg never fixes itself and you got to get a new keg? I've been on both sides of that where it's like,
Explain
that
the
keg needs
situation
to
one more
settle.
time.
So you've poured a fresh beer that you've gotten from a delivery or something like that, and maybe depending on what kind of beer it is, especially like the first batches of Oberon, if you know what I'm talking about, and stuff like that, and you got that insane cloudiness that almost looks like someone made a smoothie. Like, oh, that keg will even itself out, and then it never does, and then they got to come back and swap it out for another one and stuff. I've been on both sides of that, as the bartender that was lied to and the person selling the keg who didn't want to take it back that day and hoped it cleared up. And I learned it from reps that used to do it to me. I was like, I'll just tell them it'll clear up. Hopefully it will in a day or so. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, oh yeah, and you got to stop and swap a keg out. Fuck.
The relationship
So, yeah.
with reps in the liquor industry, when you're in a bar, working a bar, you especially if you're the buyer or order person,
Yeah.
is very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Liquor reps and beer reps can run the gamut from super on point, tight about everything, organized, to, well, what happened was,
Yeah.
and
Or depending on how good you are in their favor, you would get, well, we've only got 5 bottles to distribute to the city. Can I get one of those bottles? Well, I don't know. Will you put up some signage for me? All right. Well, if I do the signage, will you bring in this? Can I send in a rep? And then it's just wheeling
Yeah.
and dealing to get one bottle of alcohol.
and
or
before you
something
know
like
it, you're booking an event. Before
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
it, you're at the
and-
point where you're just booking a 4 liquor tasting event at your
and
bar.
you've promised to put one of their kegs on tap as well, just to help get rid of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. We'll give you one of our tap lines as
Yeah.
well.
I've put a keg on of beer that I didn't give 2 fucks about, and I knew nobody was going to give 2 fucks about, to help a rep out, to
I
get
did
that
that with
off
one.
their inventory, and I'm like, it's going to go in my cooler, and it's going to be my fucking special one night.
I
And
did
we're
that
just gonna
over.
get it out of here.
I did that at the beginning over at the Cincinnati bar with one that was what was that? Oh, that raspberry It's a brewery that doesn't exist anymore. That was very popular in Cincinnati for doing crazy, unique shit.
Blank slate.
And not Blank Slate. I knew you were gonna say them first because they had that shiitake mushroom beer and like Fork in the Road.
They had mushroom
It's a-
beer. It was
it's-
weird.
It's a different one. It almost sounds like a mouthwash.
Okay, yes.
You know who I'm talking about?
They had a very nutty beer as well.
Yes, they did. That was their one.
That was
the
the one. If their peanut butter beer was what was poured
Peanut butter
for me,
porter, right?
yeah, if that was poured to me and handed to me, I would drink that. That's probably the
Yes.
only thing on their lineup.
And I gave
I
it
do
so
that
many
with.
chances.
There's another brewery that I don't want to disparage on live broadcast that specializes in not my style of beer, not my favorite style of beer.
Oh, I know
And
exactly what it is because I do not like anything
I
they
keep
have.
trying. I try everything they put out. I try everything they do. They did. I'll give it a shot. They did a peach
they in a-
cobbler
are-
beer,
Are they in a church?
like a peach cobbler sour beer, and
I mean, it's
kept
such
trying.
a cool story, and I know the people that love that style of beer love that place, and it's very cool.
There's certain places for that. Like my wife
I
and I
went to a pre-opening for that. You may have too.
Yeah,
I went with that person
yeah.
who used to take us to those openings. That was our boss, and
Learned a lot from
going
that
in.
fucking dude.
Oh yeah,
Learned a shitload.
absolutely. Most
He's-
of what I know.
He stayed in the industry, and honestly, now he's fucking killing it.
Oh
and
hell yeah!
If you know who we're talking about, or if you ever
go
see
check
this,
out his new place.
you're killing it.
Yep. Yeah, we owe you a lot.
Oh man, I learned so
But
much.
he said as we're pulling up, oh, and by the way, you're not gonna like anything they have. I'm like, what do you? He goes, but just be nice. I'm like, don't do this to me. And I ended up going with a dark beer, hoping it would get close, but it was a dark tart, and it was, oh man, it was rough on me.
So
The coolest part was the urinal still had the old kitchen from the previous establishment's grill hood, like over your head.
was it working? Was it sucking?
No, what's gonna suck your pee pee up
Well,
over the urinal?
it would work for the whole bathroom though, and it could suck the poopy air out of the
Oh,
fucking
good,
room.
good. You're at a urinal standing against the wall, and you have a gust of shit that just keeps blowing by you, that it's sucking from the stalls behind you. Like, oh,
It's the price of greatness, sir.
I love a good wind draft, but not when it's all dookie.
Your experience with that bar reminds me of, and I'm going to use names. I'm going to name names here in a second. My wife and I went on our honeymoon to Asheville, and we went to a bunch of bars. That's one thing Asheville's notorious for. Throw a rock, you'll hit a brewery. Throw a rock, you hit a bar. We went on a brewery bonanza. I got to go to so many fucking cool places like Burial, One Earth Brewing. There was Dissolver. There was Wedge Brewing, Asheville Brewing Company. So many cool fucking places.
Yeah.
There's a big brewery there called Wicked Weed. Their stuff kind of goes to certain states. Wicked Weed makes fantastic products. I went to New Belgium. New Belgium was amazing. Wicked Weed makes a bunch of products, though.
New Belgium makes a lot of good stuff, too.
New Belgium's brewery in Asheville is fantastic. It's like if Braxton had a dog park and was on the river. It's an amazing facility. Like, they have a tap room building, and then they have the brewery kind of like a brick walk road away. Wonderful campus. But we went to Wicked Weed's really well talked about place called the Funkatorium. The Funkatorium, Brendan.
Okay.
I go to this fucking place. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it's their sour beer bar.
Oh.
I order one flight. I sit down. I can't drink it. I can't finish these beers. They're the thickest. It was almost like everything was a smoothie sour.
Oh.
That thick, pulpy, juicy. One of them was chunky, and I had to stir it because it had just chunks in it that you couldn't drink.
I know that. I mean,
couldn't.
I know the way that people love those beers. I just can't do it like you. I mean, I've ordered those beers and seen how quick some of them go. The watermelon goza, that just destroys. I mean, it sells great. I don't understand it.
I can understand. Rogue, I think, is it Rogue or somebody makes that Cerveza goza that's got like the skull on the whole can is like a skull. I think it might be Rogue Brewing. Somebody makes a goza that's really delicious. I can
like
do
the Dia de la Muertes type.
Yeah, I can do a couple of those saltier gozas, but when you're just hey, here's a sweet sour beer. Like if your label has any kind of candy or cereal or fruit snacks or
it's Neapolitan
or references to candy or ice cream, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not for me. There's completely an audience out there for it.
Wait,
there's
one with ice cream that I did like. It was the one that you just named a second ago, brewery-wise, Braxton. Mm-hmm. When they did their Graders collaboration at Cincinnati Ice Cream Company, the raspberry. Now, I still think I'm a bigger fan of what's it called that Mad Tree made instead? The same type of beer.
Shade.
It's no, I'm going to be very mad that I can't think of this right now because it's one of the best beers I've ever had, and it was in that family, and it tasted but I'm going to come up with it at some point by the end of this podcast. But the cool part about Braxton's raspberry that they had done with the Graders is they did it with floats down at the beer fest, and you would get yourself a cup, and they would put the actual scoop of ice cream in with it. Holy crap, that was really good.
That would be fucking amazing.
All right.
So I spent Columbus drinking beer and going to hockey, and now I'm back.
And now you're back.
The first thing I did when I got back, but I spent some money on a video game.
Hopefully wash your hands.
Well, I did, and then I spent some money on a video game.
Oh.
I'm obsessed now.
Yeah?
I'm in love. I've started a relationship with Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2. I've heard a lot about this. There's some controversy going around about it right now, a little bit.
Fucking game, dude. This fucking game.
I've heard it's the closest thing to Starship Troopers since Starship
I
Troopers.
feel
How do you feel about it?
I feel like someone made a Starship Troopers game and then couldn't get Starship Troopers approval, and so they made like. From what I understand, Helldivers 1 was a completely different game. It was a top down shooter. So it almost feels like they bought a game and made it Helldivers 2.
Gotcha.
It is a Starship Troopers game. The comedy, the over the top patriotic element, the fact that the entire like,
are you doing your part?
It's like, will you spread democracy across the galaxy? Be part of the movement, part of liberty. So the people that play the game talk like that.
And there's all the big it's big bugs too, right?
There's two different types of enemies. There's the giant bugs, which are literally the bugs from Starship Troopers.
Okay.
But they also kind of did this thing where they make them look too close to real bugs. Like there's these ones that kind of look like really big ass bed bugs. There's ones that kind of look like real big ass mosquitoes. So there's that real like, oh fuck these fucking things.
Yeah.
But it's like Starship Troopers. At certain points, you'll be trying to get away from a zone and have thousands of bugs running towards you, and you and all your cohorts are sitting there trying to mow them all down while the ship that's going to get you out of the map is on its way there on like a 2-minute distance. But there's also the Automatons, who is another group trying to take over the other side of the galaxy. Essentially, giant robots of different styles. It feels like like the opening part of Terminator when it's the future and all the robots are running and they're stepping on human skulls. It's essentially that.
Gotcha.
But what makes the game great is they really zeroed in on those opportunities for you to have big action movie moments with your friends. It's fun if you play alone. I've played a couple matches by myself. You can level up, you can get some things, do some lower missions, have some fun. You might line up with a group that kicks you because they're like, maybe it's 3 people who are friends, or like, oh, this dude, fuck that. I'm a lower level than most people, so maybe they might kick me. But you can have a good amount of fun by yourself. The real game, though, is when you've got friends on headset and you're all in a group together. You get up to 4 people.
That's how Left 4 Dead was back in the day.
It has that similar team vibe, but imagine
where you really got to work together. If you get split off, you're getting screwed.
You might need to split off at certain points. There might be moments where if you have a certain thing called a stratagem, stratagems are like additional attacks and combat moves. Like one stratagem will make everybody has their own ship. Every player has a battleship up in the sky. Your battleship, you might use a stratagem, which gives you a grenade, which throws a beacon. Now that beacon will get bombarded with missiles from your starship. Nice. And there are comedic ones. Like we played with somebody the other day who was a super high level, and it was a laser that came from his ship for like 30 seconds and just mowed down everything across the battlefield. So there are comedic things. There are nuclear bombs just kind of laying throughout the map. So if you're in a combat zone, you can see the nuke and be like, hey, clear out! And you see it, and it's a nuclear missile or a nuclear explosion that goes off, and you got to like get away, and it blows up. And it's all these gigantic, goofy action moments and these opportunities to just have stupid fucking fun. And it's
now, is this PC? Is this PlayStation?
From my understanding, PlayStation and PC. I bought it on PS5. I had one of those things where I basically only paid about $20 for it because I had that PlayStation Stars program. The point program. Sign up for PlayStation Stars if you haven't. And we're not sponsored. Sign up for PlayStation Stars if you have a PlayStation. You have not. You get points for playing games, downloading games, buying games, playing the monthly free games. I got enough points where I got enough gift cards to get a $40 game for $20.
Nice.
Like it's worth it. And then I got points for buying the $20 I spent on that game. You get points every time you go. So I'm like
the Xbox rewards program, but it sounds a little bit better.
Exactly.
It's just a reward system.
But I picked it up through that and jumped in immediately. It is a game I will highly recommend to everybody. It's a third-person shooter, which isn't always my thing, but they made the shooting and aiming mechanic fun to where if you're running, because there's certain points where 20 bugs are chasing you and you're running and the rest of my group is ahead of me and I'm running like crazy trying to keep up, if I'm turning my camera while I'm running so I can see behind me, and if I start firing, your character will automatically run backwards and fire. So you're just getting these action scene moments. And when you start, if you start shooting for a moment, your character will spit out all these lines like, "I'll die for Super Earth, freedom!" and all these action movie lines. Like it's. I can't recommend this fucking game enough. If you don't have Helldivers 2, you have to fucking start playing.
I might have to check it out.
It
doesn't sound like my usual type of game, but it could be fun enough combined.
It provides the same thing as Sea of Thieves, but in a shoot and kill bugs setting. The points you collect aren't competitive. So there are different kind of money, and I'm not going to go through all those, but there's different levels of money and points you get in the maps. If you get them, I get them. If I get them, you get them. If you die and drop them and I pick up yours, I didn't steal your points. We still all get the points. We all get the things. Everybody gets them. There is not a reason to compete with the people you're playing with at all.
Nice.
Anyway.
Nice. So, do you think you could come up with like something else to talk about for 15 seconds? Because as usual, guess what I forgot?
Your bottle opener.
Bottle opener. Every effing time. I need to just like leave it on the laptop.
Absolutely. This will be an opportunity.
There.
I'm going to talk to the people. Make sure, once again, if you are not currently subscribed to this YouTube channel, to the podcast, go to gettingwork.com. Go to wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Make sure you guys jump in the chat on YouTube. Have a little fun in there. Brendan and I watch the chat. You all are part of this live show every Thursday that we do here on YouTube at 9 p.m. every Thursday. Make sure you follow Brendan once again. He is That Dude Named Brendan on Instagram. I am That Dude Named Mike on Instagram. I am Getting Worked on Twitter. He said, uh-oh. Why uh-oh? Why uh-oh? Wait.
I'm coming.
He's back. He's coming back. Hold on.
I have a feeling my cat knocked down under the bar.
Riveting entertainment. Riveting entertainment.
Yeah, sorry about that. I have a feeling someone threw my bottle opener on the floor.
That camera angle wasn't flattering, sir.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, I look behind and everything. We're good.
All right.
I'm grumpy.
So he's got his bottle
opener. This is going to piss me off even more.
He's grumpy. So I think it's time, people of the internet. We're going to go ahead and jump right into Brendan's Weird Soda segment. Everything's a segment now. I'm going to make a bunch of segment things eventually. We'll call this "What the fuck are you drinking?" or "What are you drinking?"
Yeah, in between what are you playing and what am I watching or playing, we'll
what the hell is that or something. So we've been doing Brendan's sodas. Brendan, once again, you can jump on the podcast or YouTube and watch the old combinations. Brendan gave me 6 sodas that I drank. We are 3 sodas into my revenge. We've gone through peanut butter soda, enchilada soda, and mustard soda, which was probably your ranch dressing soda.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of these left.
This one looks like it's got a booger on it of some sort. What is that weird stuff on there?
I need to be honest with you, buddy.
What? Did you wipe a booger on it?
No, I'm trying to remember.
You don't remember, do you?
No, I think we're at the point where one I don't know how you feel about. Like, there's one that's there.
I don't know how I feel about any of this.
It could be great. You could not care. You could be so mad. Two, I apologize ahead of time. So I'm gonna let you pick.
Which one do you want me to do? I'll just do this one. I feel like I'm leaning this way. I don't know why. Oh God, I hate this so much.
It's taking the foil off.
Like I almost felt like this was gonna happen when I got you. What color are we looking? Oh God.
I know what that is.
It's very green. Why is it green? Oh, don't be like pickle or something like that. Butter soda? Just butter? What is this from Wisconsin?
Just butter.
Butter?
Just butter. It's just butter. It's not that bad. It's just butter.
I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
It's butter, baby. That's the name of this week's episode. It's butter, baby.
Oh God!
All right, so people on the internet. Oh, we gotta do a shot. Oh, so since you're doing the weird soda, I'm gonna let you pick.
I'm doing a weird soda, but I'm doing a good shot. I think it's gonna be good. It's from Bird Dog, and they don't have always the.
Which one is that? What is that?
This is the Mesquite Brown Sugar. No fucking way, dude. No way. No fucking way. No way.
Oh,
That's like the second time we've done that. Are you shitting me?
no, Mesquite
You have the
Brown
same exact
Sugar
one?
Bird Dog whiskey.
God damn it, bro.
All right, let's go. So we're actually gonna be. This is one of the few times we're gonna be able to actually review this together.
I smell brown sugar and it smells great.
This is Bird Dog's Mesquite Brown Sugar flavored whiskey.
I'm excited about this. That brown sugar smells great.
So here's the thing. I've had, and don't go yet. There's barbecue vodka. We've talked about barbecue vodka.
Oh, now I'm getting the mesquite. Go back and forth. I don't know why I'm suddenly getting like mesquite barbecue sauce. Are you snorting it?
No, each nostril has a different thing. I think that's science.
Yeah, I'm barbecue sauce over here. I'm alcohol over here. And I'm brown sugar on both. I don't know what's going on.
All right. So mesquite brown sugar flavored whiskey from Bird Dog. This is 70 proof.
Yep.
Cheers, bub.
Cheers. Clink. Oh, that's nice. A little too much brown sugar.
You could have laid off the sweetness a little bit. Yeah.
I think it's too sweet.
You could have given me some more whiskey flavor.
It's starting to remind me more of a liqueur instead of a whiskey. It does say flavored whiskey, but yeah, that gets really sweet and weird.
Yeah, that's sugary. Like, you could have upped the proof on that, or
really good at first, but man, I don't know how you're gonna.
You can lean more. You can lean more mesquite. Like, I assume that there's a flavor mix they do with. Here's how much you want of this.
Last week.
Here's how much you want of that. I think that one you go more mesquite.
I was just gonna say same thing as last week when you asked me, like, as a bartender, how would I correct the enchilada soda and turn it into something, and I went with a spicy margarita using it. How would you incorporate that into a cocktail to balance out the sweetness?
So that could also, anytime you've got like savory, sweet booze, Bloody Mary could be the go-to, but I'm not going to do that. What I would do,
like a Bloody Kentucky, but then counter it with some Worcestershire and some other spice.
I would do a play on a smash. I feel
with
like
mint?
With mint and lemon, or you want to go crazy. Lemon and Worcestershire, and then you put a little bit of simple syrup in there. You put your whiskey in there, your ice. Honestly,
I don't think you need any simple syrup. I almost think. I mean,
I think you serve it in a highball. You serve it in a bigger glass. I think this is like at the end. This almost looks like a mint julep.
Yeah.
So like you've got this. You've got the let's go with mint, lemon. Do that up like a whiskey smash. Mash that shit together. Shake it. If you could do crushed ice, wonderful. And then a little bit of like tahini or something sprinkled over the top of the ice. Ooh. Not a ton. Just like a little like when you take the little shaker and you just go bing.
See, every time you say tahini, I revert back to my agave worm salt, and I'm thinking now like a Bloody Kentucky with a agave worm salt rim.
If I was putting it on a menu, I wouldn't go with the worm salt. I would go with tahini, just because if you're putting it on a menu, you say tahini, people are gonna garnished with tahini. Everyone's going to go, I love tahini, because that's a popular thing right now, dude.
Everybody but if you do worm salt, people are going to be like, oh my God, I could be like that prick Brendan who has to put worm salt on shit.
Yeah, but not that many people are worm salt people yet. Get us a worm salt sponsorship.
I've been introducing people to it on the oranges like we did at your place for the one event.
Go to wormsalt.com and use the promo code Brendan. No.
I was just going to say, I've not been using my own promo code.
I'm just going to make up sponsorships now. Go to Apple and tell them Mike sent you, and they'll ask you to leave.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah, by the way, you got to chase that with butter soda. Tell them about it. We need description. We need flavor profile.
Oh my God, it's popcorn.
We need popcorn?
It's buttered popcorn at the movie theater.
Is there the roastiness? How?
No. You know how when they just pour that butter syrup
does it just
popcorn,
smell like the fake butter?
It smells like the fake butter on the popcorn. 100%.
I kind of want to.
That's 100%. If you blindfolded me and held this under my nose, I would have said movie theater popcorn instantly.
I wonder if that's all they did. If they just made soda with the fucking with the artificial.
This is gonna be so sweet
movie theater
because cane sugar is the second thing in here. God, fuck you, Rocket Fizz soda pop and candy shops. Fuck you. Wait, now, you know what? This is not Lester's Fixins. All the other crazy ones we've had have been from Lester's Fixins. This is a new company of assholes who do nothing but make sodas that people only drink half of and then dump down their sink and curse about their friends. Fuck, let's do this.
Butter soda. First impression.
Popcorn. It's 100% exactly what it smells like.
So not just butter, popcorn with butter.
Yes, it's very nutty. Very nutty.
Should they have called it buttered popcorn soda?
It should be movie theater or buttered popcorn. It's not that bad.
See, I wouldn't have put that in there if it said movie theater buttered popcorn. I'd been like, oh, that's gonna be tasty.
Yeah, it's not bad. This might be number one.
What?
Right now, when it comes to
over peanut butter?
Yeah, absolutely. This is good. Yeah.
Is this like the sweet corn soda for me where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is the same thing. Sweet corn soda for me was
I thought I was going to hate this because I thought it was going to be like thick, nasty butter. Like, yeah. No, this is... If you blindfolded me or if you had put a different label on here that said popcorn soda, I would have believed you. And I probably would have feared it at first, but it's actually pretty damn good.
Well, there we have it, people.
I escaped this week. 2 to go. One's got a booger on it, and one's the one I picked at the first week that I was... Oh, wait, no. That was that one. Remember the first week when I was going to pick one? I'm like, I'm not going to pick this one, but I'll scratch the top so we know when I do get to it. I could have had butter soda week 1, but I had it today. So we've got 2 left to go, and one's apparently going to make me really sad.
Both.
Both are going to make
me... I'm 99% sure that both are not up your alley. One of them is one of them, like, there's a coin flip on if you like that flavor. So, but we'll go. Okay. We'll come to that. We'll come to that bridge.
We'll find out together soon.
We will. So, I've been playing a lot of that Helldivers. You're drinking butter soda.
Yep.
But what have you been playing? What have you been watching? What have you been doing?
I'm still playing what you would probably expect that I'm playing.
Hold on. Either Spider-Man or Ghosts of Tsushima. Are we still liberating the people of Tsushima?
Oh.
So hold on.
I'm saving and liberating every motherfucker there. Mongols are dying on my blade. Oh, man.
This is why you need to play Helldivers, because Helldivers is all about spreading democracy across the galaxy. I'm spreading democracy. You're liberating Tsushima. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you are spraying bullets like a crazy person. You're yelling your stuff. I am a calm samurai. People rush me, and I slice their fucking head off. and people rush me, and I fucking parry. And yeah. Anyway,
Falcon
no,
Perry? Is that Katy?
I know.
Is that Katy
I
Perry's
fucking
brother?
parry.
Oh, I thought you said you were Falcon Perry. I thought that was like Katy Perry's brother. Well, Billie Eilish has that weird brother who's like always around, like Quentin. No, it's the producer of her music. It's
Sounds like Soraya.
No, it's
Soraya's
like
that weird
Quentin Eilish or fucking like Demetrius Eilish or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, like Soraya's the same way. It's like Soraya, she just got her brother a job.
Yeah. Zach Zodiac.
Can I be real? And I'm coming.
I hate that name so much.
I'm saying this. I'm saying this as somebody who loves Soraya. My wife's favorite wrestler. We bonded over wrestling by watching like some of her matches and shit.
Oh yeah, the girl has had a movie made about her family. She is from. Yeah.
The movie was about how. Her brother sucked. The movie was about how her brother couldn't wrestle and was dog shit.
And now she just got him a job.
No, but she said, "I want you to have a job."
So besides Ghost of Tsushima, I've actually also been watching something that's not the same shit I always watch.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, I do go back to that here and there. That's always a good one to throw on in the background. That's a great show to put on. That's hilarious.
My daughter wants to watch that show all the time now.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. She heard a couple skits from upstairs that I was watching one day. Came down and asked about them. So now we have this thing where I let my 14-year-old daughter watch I Think You Should Leave, but we skip any skits that are about, like, if it's sexual content, that's what we don't watch. Like the sketch about, like, are the ghosts coming all over the house and shit like that. Like we don't watch that. But we
do
watch.
Any of these fuckers ever pop out of the wall?
Fuckers. But we watch we watch the Dan Flashes one where he's like you fucking snake! I'm not spending my money on shirts. And we'll watch like certain ones. The pattern's so complicated. Tim Robinson fucking rules. Anyway, I'm sorry.
1,500 out the door.
There's one that's $1,000. I wanted it so bad. So bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What are you watching?
Shogun.
I keep seeing ads for this fucking show.
My God. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. 9.5 out of all like the other like it's considered already in 2 episodes just to be one of the just a top show to watch. It's based off of the 1975 book, and then there was actually a 1980 limited series. That's what this is going to be, is a limited series. They announced it in 2018. They were supposed to be done filming by the end of 2019. They actually didn't even start filming until like 2022, and now it's finally coming out. But you can tell it is big budget. It is stunning. To be honest with you, it's so funny because I said when I first saw it a specific description of it, and I just saw an article today that did the exact same description. And it is Ghost of Tsushima meets Game of Thrones. It is the backstabbing. It's basically a ruler has died and given 5 men power to hold the kingdom together until the son comes of age at age 16. And it is some just political backstabbing, but not as complicated as Game of Thrones. It's basically one against all of this. But in the middle of this, it's based on a true story of the first Englishman to ever come to Japan and who actually became one of the first samurai ever.
Wasn't that a Tom Cruise movie?
No. That was The Last Samurai. This is the first samurai. Okay, no.
So wait, hold on. The first samurai and the last samurai were both what?
Western. Well, this guy, John Blackthorne, is actually, he's more of a privateer or a pirate.
Hold on. John Blackthorne?
The guy's name in this is John Blackthorne. He's loosely based on William Adams, who is the man. If you look up William Adams samurai, he actually got the role of samurai. And you'll come to find in this story, basically, this man is wrecked here, and all they know in Japan is trade with the Portuguese. And they know Catholics. And now all of a sudden there's an English Protestant here who is fighting with the Portuguese, and his only people who can translate to this guy who is interested, this shogun, these samurai people, are these Protestants who his country's at war with, and he's the first Englishman they've encountered. But what actually happened in real life that they'll get to in this is he ends up becoming very close with the guy who plays the main. There's what's his name? I had it written down. What's he go by? The first shogun of Japan, blah, 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 blah. What is the name of the... Oh, there he is. Hiroyuki Sanada. If you look him up real quick, Hiroyuki Sanada, you will know him. He was in the movie Bullet Train. He was in Lost. He always shows up in samurai things. He is such a cool look. He's a producer on the show, and he is the main guy. I've
seen this guy and stuff.
Yeah, he plays Lord Yoshi Toranaga.
Oh, he was in the 2021 Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He was Scorpion. In everything he's in.
That's what I know him from. He was in Rush Hour 3. He was in the Wolverine. Who was he in the Wolverine?
Well, he plays Yoshi Toranaga, who will be the Shogun, who befriends eventually this Englishman. And in real life, the Englishman had like a wife and kids at home, and then the Shogun eventually declares his English name dead, gives him a Japanese name, and declares him a samurai. And even though he was now technically separated from his wife in England, he still sent her money until the day he died. But he chose not to return to England and stay in Japan as a samurai. But he was the one who brought Western ship design to the Japanese. And so this takes place in the 1600s. It's going to be a 10-part series. The first 2 episodes are out now. Episode 3 comes out on March 5th. And it's basically going to be the combination of Sanada there. Did I say Sanada? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Sanada.
His name is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Hiroyuki Sanada. And then there's another girl, Anna Sawai, Sawai. She's really good, but she is a female samurai married into the family who knows Portuguese and is learning. The whole show is in Japanese, I will say, and it's subtitled. The Englishman speaks, and whenever English is being spoken, technically they're supposed to be speaking Portuguese. But then there's this whole so if you can't deal with the subtitles, which I just say deal with the fucking subtitles, you forget they're there at first. Hulu does have an English dubbed version.
Who is Nestor? Because I was looking up the IMDb in the background while you were talking about it. Who is Nestor Carbonell?
Is that the Englishman, I believe?
He might be. He looks like the only person.
No, the Englishman is Cosmo Jarvis is his name. His name is Cosmo Jarvis.
Vasco
and
Rodriguez?
Actually, he's born on September 1st.
Okay, the character is Vasco Rodriguez is the character's name.
That's another ship. He has introduced this sailor and is the first person to try and speak through him. He's a sailor who can speak Portuguese and Japanese, and the Japanese haven't encountered any Englishmen and know nothing about them. They only know of trade with Portugal, and this man is the one who eventually opened up trade. And it's just, there's going to be this powerful conflict of the female that is married into the family, Lord Tanagawa, and then the Englishman, to keep this group of people from assassinating him. Basically it's a 5-man council, and 4 of them have suddenly realized they want to get rid of this guy over here who might have too much power but also happens to be kind of a good dude. This guy now has realized that his key to survival might be this Englishman and this Portuguese interpreting samurai female. And it's very fucking cool. I mean, every episode looks like a movie budget. It's the same as Ghost of Tsushima. It's some of the most gorgeous scenery you'll see, and it's just really, I don't know. I mean, it is a little bit of my Kurosawa and old samurai obsession and stuff like that. I mean, like we talked about why I love Ghost of Tsushima so much. It all ties into that, but even as a non-samurai move, it's just really cool and it's really well done. It's something new and fun that's big and epic, like Game of Thrones was for me, and other things like that. And I know you hated Game of Thrones, but this doesn't have
I don't hate Game of Thrones.
12 different people fight. This is very defined, and it's
I don't hate Game of Thrones. I want to be clear about that. I don't hate Game of Thrones. It's not for me. It's
sex and violence
for me.
Calm down.
Too much talking, not enough stuff. It has nothing to do with the content. Too much talking, not enough doing. I can read a book. If I want that much talking, not enough doing, I read a book. Star Trek in the Woods.
Star Trek in the Woods.
Lot of talking.
Star Trek in the Woods.
Not a lot of movement. Not a lot of forward progression.
It's not Star Trek in the Woods.
It is. Game of Thrones is Star Trek in the Woods with incest.
Most of your incest happens in the woods, I would assume.
Yeah.
Appalachia.
And that really,
God, every week I just completely cut off a part of the country.
That brutal 10 seconds where Jason Momoa is just like putting it, just putting work in.
Yeah.
There's like a 10-second shot where Jason Momoa is just.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, I wish he was Thor so I could make a Hammer of Thor reference. So I guess I'm just going to say he fucking wailed it.
Yeah, I felt very bad for Daenerys in that moment. Like, oh, she's just tiny. Stop, sir. Oh, good Lord.
She didn't seem to mind. Anyway, people of the internet.
All right. Have you been betting?
I haven't been betting.
I've got one going right now.
This week.
Yeah. I got lucky on a Jason Tatum, Tyrese Maxey both scoring 20 plus. Tonight I've got Jalen Brunson and Steph Curry both to score 25 plus. I'm hitting better on those little 2-leg parlays here and there. And NBA points about 20. I just pick people to hit about 25 here and there, or rebounds. But soccer is back, so that's going to be bet on. FC Cincinnati just moved on after a 4-0 win in the Champions League the other night, last night actually, and they will play next week against Monterrey. Get down.
Before we move into that, I'm switching beers.
Okay.
Our
beer switch.
Deflategate is gone. So I've got this that I picked up a couple weeks ago. This is from Street
Mike
Side.
Mike has second beer the way hobbits have second breakfast.
See, we'll do the same.
Oh, there it is. Mike's beer of the week.
We're not gonna do the same.
Oh, okay.
But this is because I just picked this up in a random 6-pack at Party Source because I wanted to make sure I had like some beers. Like if I want a weird beer that I could throw in on the day we do the show to do a beer of the week, I always have that 6-pack ready to rock and roll that I just get random like 1 cans of. But I had these beers from Columbus, so that took precedent today. But this is my backup beer. But we're at the point tonight where we're at the backup beer. This is from Street Side Brewery. This is Kampai. This is a Japanese style rice lager. So,
ooh, that's interesting.
Rice lager in America, Budweiser.
Yeah,
that's your rice lager. Hate to break it to you. I'm not knocking the beer, but if you're drinking Budweiser, drinking rice beer. But most Japanese beers, a lot of Japanese beers are rice beers, and this is a lager, which can go either way. It can be super. Oh shit!
What'd you do? Did you spill?
No, this is like Sapporo, dude.
Oh,
this is
very clear.
Look at how this is a lager.
Oh wow, that's more Pilsnerish almost to me. It's very light. Oh, look at you with the big pour.
Right? We tried to get fancy there for a moment, but this is like, look at how light and clear that is. This is Kampai. Japanese style rice lager from Street Side Brewing. Let's give her a run. Oh, that tastes like getting drunk.
Is that an easy one?
It is the easiest, crispest, Crispin Glover.
What is it?
Motherfucking
4.2,
beer.
4.5,
4.
4?
4.
Nice.
This is a beer they want you to drink 20 of, which is why it's at the 4% ABV, but like people on the internet.
For me,
Right.
that's like the only type of beer you'll see me drinking with food. Like anything else I have to put aside for a little bit. I'm not drinking IPA. Like that's I could have that with some wings or something like that.
Unless I'm at a bar restaurant, okay. This past weekend, my wife and I did it a bunch because we were at places that were like, you eat at the bar. We went to like all these restaurants while we're walking around. We sat at the bar and ate. I'm going to have a beer with my food if I'm sitting at the bar and eating. But like, if we were to go out on a Thursday night, like, dude, I'm at the point now, I don't want booze with my food. Give me a glass of water, give me an iced tea, give me something else for my food, and then let's go.
I'll come back to it. It upsets my stomach. Yeah. You know what you just reminded me of when you said sitting at the bar eating food? Mommy Bay. You remember those duck wings? Those were good though. Those Asian duck wings. Those were tasty.
For those of you
Toledo
that don't know
is
what we're
the
talking
weirdest.
about, Brendan and I went to Toledo once for an interview with Mike D from Killswitch Engage. Amazing musician, wrestling fan, great fucking
We
dude.
were on the tour bus. Awesome guy.
Was it interesting being on like a band's tour bus? Because like
the problem
he
was for
awake
me
and
that
like
was awkward.
20
Yes.
people were sleeping.
Yes, that was the awkward part. And the area of the bus that we recorded on was the back room.
We had to walk
So
past
as
their
we
beds.
got on the tour bus, we're walking by bodies of people laying down that are just waking up or something like that. The lead singer, maybe a groupie or two. I just tried to look forward, like I don't want to feel like I'm intruding on their shit or whatever. Like
knowing about that band, Killswitch Engage, those dudes are all married. There were probably no groupies on that bus, and I've watched that band enough.
I
to
really
where I
only
know...
saw the dudes on the right, and it was like the lead singer.
But there's also like
and
Tex.
he's an intimidating dude. He did not look happy to be awake.
At some point, Adam D, their guitar player, popped his head into the room that we were recording in, and it was, and I don't know, he'll never see this, but Adam D, you had every right to have this look on your face. He did not.
He had no idea that there was a podcast going on.
He did not know that people were podcasting and recording in the back room of the bus.
Yeah.
And Mike, and it was an amazing experience. They were wonderful to us. They offered us like tickets at the end to go see the concert, but you and I had things like we hadn't planned the day to stay in that city. We had to make sure we were out of the city by
it was them and Seven Dust, right?
Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold. There was.
I would have went if it was Seven Dust.
Toledo. There was nothing in Toledo except for that
Until
venue
we found a brewery
and Mommy Bay Brewing. We found a brewery.
Bay.
It was really good. They had these Asian duck wings that were like ginger. That's what I remember the most. Was those big wings.
I remember the vibe of that particular brewery because they focused on the walls being cans and memorabilia from like local Ohio and lower Michigan breweries because across the river was fucking Detroit. Like you looked out the window of this fucking brewery and you saw a river and then you saw Detroit. So they made a good effort. When you walked in, there was like cans and bottle caps and tools and like memorabilia from all the local breweries.
I've been to Toledo and I've been to Detroit once for a very unique event. Toledo's sketchier to me. Sorry, Toledo.
I go to a lot
every
of
week. I
breweries.
alienate people. Like fuck you, Columbus.
I go to a lot
Fuck
of
you,
breweries.
Appalachia.
I think I need to go to Mommy Bay Brewing again. I think the food was great, but like I don't remember the beer. I remember
I don't
I remember
really
they had
remember
a
the
beer
beer.
called Glass. I remember they had a beer called Glasshopper because
Yep.
apparently that was because
That was their
Detroit was
popular
the
one.
Motor City. They were Glass City because apparently they made the glass for all the cars
The cars in
and
Detroit.
sent them over
yeah.
to Detroit. So like
We
they had a
got-
beer called Glass Hopper.
I remember leaving with a growler of it. I don't know where the growler went. I don't know what the beer tasted like. I don't remember any of that.
I've lost so many alcohol pieces on alcohol events. I think about we used to go to Jim Beam. We used to go to their distillery, and we particularly used to buy bottles of Old Tub. Old Tub whiskey, if you can
Oh
buy
my
it right
God,
now, you can
Old
get it. You can
Tub.
get it in any liquor store now. Old Tub. Costco has a great deal. Not sponsored. Costco has an amazing price point on Old Tub whiskey. But Old Tub used to only be available at Jim Beam's distillery. If you went there, he's drinking the butter soda. It was only available if you went there and bought it, and you could only buy it in the flask bottle. You couldn't buy it in the big normal 750 or anything bigger, the 1.5 liter. You could only buy it in the little flask bottle. So every time we would go down to Jim Beam as bartenders, because you, I, and a bunch of other bartenders would always go down there for events, for like tastings, things like that.
You know what annoyed me the most about Jim Beam? Can you guess? They do something very different from every other place. It's technologically cool, I guess, but I thought it was just dumb.
I'm trying to remember. No. What?
How do they do their tastings? They have machines that you swipe
Oh,
a card
yes.
on, and you press a button, and a little spigot spits out your drink. Every other thing, they've got someone who has poured fresh from the bottle. They're talking about it, whatever. This, it's walk around to the vending machine, basically, and press the button of what
That's
you want.
true. Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of that. I'm like, this doesn't feel like Kentucky bourbon to me.
No.
This doesn't feel like a tasting. This
Feels
is
like a machine.
this is Disney World. This
Yeah.
is, yeah. But
That is the
I know
one
we're
thing.
supposed to get to our parlay, and I know we've gone real long. I'm sorry. I keep
No.
talking about it.
No, but that's the thing about
So
that.
you brought up
is
Jim Beam.
Jim Beam was a place where they honestly treated us, and they treat bartenders the best out of
very
out of
well.
all the distilleries. They will bring you in, give you everything, show you everything. They will feed you for a fucking day, take you everywhere, treat you like fucking family.
I have
The
random
only
opinions.
downside is
Woodford-
that tasting room.
Yeah, Woodford also, I think, is the cheapest of the tastings. Like, they give you a half a sip to have, and then they give you another half a sip to have with some water. Whereas Evan Williams has you sitting at like this cool table for a while, and like, oh, by the way, these are old school desks. Open them, and then you open it, and 4 glasses pop up on top.
And
They're
Evan
each
Williams,
filled.
there's no limit. It's you want some more, get some more.
And Maker's Mark. I mean, Maker's Mark is
Maker's
the...
Mark is the most beautiful
I-
campus, the most
I think-
beautiful facility.
I call Maker's Mark like it's a college campus or it's the Disney World of just because everything is so
call it a
neatly
campus.
manicured.
That's where I got that term
Yeah.
for like whiskey place. They call it a campus. Go ahead.
It's so neatly manicured and beautiful. I know we went there together. The funniest part to me why I say Disneyland is because it reminds me what happens at the end of every ride at Disneyland.
You get a photo.
It spits you out into a personal gift shop. And that's what the Maker's Mark tour. You're going through this whole tour. It's really cool. Like, all right, now just go through those doors to exit. And you're at the back of the gift shop and need to walk through all of this shit that you want. Like, oh, this is every Disney ride I've ever been on. Like, spits out into the
And
gift
you can
shop.
even buy a photo. Here's a
Oh,
photo
yeah.
of you standing in front of the distill.
Yeah.
That was the thing, though. The good part about like working in the industry like we did. We
Yeah.
got to do a couple of those tours that most people don't get to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
The extra behind the scenes
My
tour
first
and-
time at Makers, I didn't have to pay for it, but I got to do the dip my own bottle,
Yep.
put my thumb on it. Like it was
Yep.
fucking fun.
Did you ever drink that bottle?
No, it's still downstairs in my bar.
I am ashamed to say that I drank the bottle.
There's
I had a really bad weekend one time, and I don't remember what happened, but I know that I just saw that bottle on the shelf and went, fuck it. I'll go to Makers and dip myself another bottle someday.
There's only
And I
two
just
bottles.
drank the whole damn thing.
The 2 bottles I've never opened. I've opened
was like
most of
10
those
years
bottles.
ago.
I opened my bottle that got signed by Jimmy Russell that I I hung out with Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey. We drank together.
He's biting me.
He's
Sorry.
biting. But I hung out with Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey. We drank and partied together, and he signed a bottle for me. I have the bottle. I'm going to eventually fill it with something and decorate it and save it, but I drank that whiskey.
Yeah.
The only other bottle I've never opened is actually here on the desk.
Ooh.
I think you were with me for this when we went to Jim Beam one time. And we got to
Oh,
do
it's the
thing.
flat bottle. It's the flat.
We got to do the thing where we all got to do our own Knob Creek and put our thumbprint on it. Fred No from Beam just happened to be in the gift shop when we were there, hanging out and getting ready to leave, and he signed our bottles. This is probably one of the only bottles. This will be the bottle I never open, because for that same thing we talked about, Jim Beam was always super fucking cool to us. I honestly, people talk shit about Jim Beam as a low level whiskey. I won't have that slander. Yeah, whiskey should be cheap. A lot of whiskey should be really cheap and really affordable. It's not a bad thing.
It is a proper Japanese whiskey.
Come on now.
I know, you know why I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's Suntory, but
for the Jim Beam label, it's just regular priced cheap whiskeys. We can talk about Suntory is a different deal. That's whiskey business. But like the Jim Beam and Knob Creek label, there should be cheap, affordable whiskeys. Like I champion that to the Old Tub thing. If you ask me what's a great bottle for the money, for the penny, Old Tub's about $19 to $22 a bottle, depending on where you live. Fantastic cost, fantastic value.
Old Crow.
But people and Old Crow.
Evan Williams.
But people also need money to buy those whiskeys, and something they can do.
Oh, this is called a segue.
To make that money is bet on sports. And this week we let you pick our parlay and put our parlay together, right?
To be honest, you told me, hey, I need you to give me a parlay.
And as you see here, people of the internet, we have this week's parlay of the week. We're taking a look at the FC.
It's not like Mike's beer of the week. It's not Brendan's parlay of the week. It's just parlay of the week.
Well, we'll call it. This is Brendan's parlay of the week. We'll officially name it. Next week, I'm going to call it Brendan's parlay of the week. That's the new name of the segment.
Next week it's going to be you picking something. 2 weeks.
It's soccer season. I don't know shit.
All right, we'll talk about
it. Until baseball starts, I'm fucking fucked.
I might give you some Six Nations rugby next week. We get back to Six Nations rugby. I'm going to go down to Molly Malone's on a Saturday.
What the fuck is that?
It's European. It's Ireland. It's England. It's Scotland. It's Wales. All right, our parlay of the week. Aaron Bupenza. He's going to score. Aaron Bupenza was just number 3 on SportsCenter's top 10 last night for a goal. The guy's on fire. He's our go-to. He's got to prove why he's there. I think he's going to do it. Corey Baird, our new striker. The man attempted a bicycle kick in the first game that I saw him in. A bicycle scissor kick kind of combo. The guy's not afraid to take a shot. He's going to take a shot on goal. Lucho is always going to take a shot on goal. Xherdan Shaqiri, former Liverpool player, and probably the one that scares me the most on Chicago, he's going to take a shot on goal. There will be more than 2 goals in this game. I think there's going to be like 3. I'm seeing like a 2-1 Cincinnati win, I think. But match result will be Cincinnati or tie. The only reason I think it could be a tie is because we're on the road.
Fair enough.
But I don't think we're losing, and I think we're going to keep it alive going into the Monterrey game next Wednesday for Champions League against our former striker, Brandon Vasquez.
So this week's MLS, next week is Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League is kind of tournaments that'll happen midweek and stuff, and that's where your really good teams, like if you're a good team and you're going to be in these multiple competitions, like in England right now, Liverpool can still win the quad. They've won the Carabao Cup. There's also the FA Cup. There's Europa League, and then there's Premier League. And when you're a team who has these extra games on Wednesdays that are thrown in all of a sudden and shit like that, you really got to know how to manage your bench. You really got to work your subs and really have some depth on the team. So we're coming off, this will be 3 games in 1 week. We played Saturday in MLS. Then we played Wednesday in Champions League. We're back Saturday in MLS on the road in Chicago, but we're back here on Wednesday against Monterrey. Then the following week, we're going to be MLS, but then they're going to fly down to Monterrey and play in Mexico because Champions League is 2 legs, which is each team gets a home game. And then you combine the aggregate score. So we technically beat the Jamaican team that we played Wednesday 6-0 because we won 2-0 in the first game and 4-0 in the second. Your aggregate score is 6-0. We move on, get the fuck out of the league, Jamaica.
So, wow. So it's just get the fuck out, like beat, bye.
Yeah. Basically, it's a 32-team tournament to start. The best teams of America, of the Americas, Canada, Mexico. There's Jamaican team. It's CONCACAF, which is this region of the world. And then the winning team of this will move on to like the Club World Cup, where they could play teams like Liverpool or Real Madrid or things like that. I pointed at the Adidas logo, Real Madrid. So yeah. Basically, that's what I love about soccer is you can keep winning, and if you win enough, you could play everybody in the world.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
You're either winning or you're getting beat the fuck up by 20 other teams.
Yeah, it's crazy, and you're taking on teams that you've never played before. You're all of a sudden like 1 week they're down in Jamaica in front of like 100 people at the National Stadium of Jamaica on Wednesday, and then 3 days later they're back here playing in TQL Stadium, and then they're going to be back. They're going to Chicago this weekend on Saturday, and then they'll be back at TQL on Wednesday, and then it's Monterrey after that. It's crazy, yeah. The better you do, the crazier it gets, and the more tournaments you're in, but the more chances you have to win money to buy more players, and soccer goes on all the time.
Jesus, a lot of things go on all the time. And
this show has gone on all the damn time.
But I wanted to touch on something else that you brought up because we talked about the things we're playing, the things that you're watching.
Oh, but yeah.
We also talk about a lot of wrestling on this show. And
yeah.
And recently, very recently, they have just announced through Vice TV. You can see we do a podcast about getting drunk. Through Vice TV and through those appropriate channels, we are getting a new season of Dark Side of the Ring.
Even if you're not a wrestling fan, highly recommend. I myself, over movies and TV, I'm a documentary fan. And it's a really well done documentary. And like season 1, just start with the first episode, which is about the true story of Miss Elizabeth and Randy Savage. I mean, these are not happy shows. I mean, if you're those people who love watching those murder shows and stuff like that, I mean, the assassination of Dino Bravo episode, like the mob hit that happened on Dino Bravo, and learning the lives of these people who were. I mean, it's just some of it is so tragic.
The Bruiser Brody story.
The Bruiser Brody story, just so tragic.
How many people watched him get fucking stabbed?
Get murdered, and nobody ever
fucking
paid.
Murdered. A room full of people watched him be killed who never said anything. But
Tony Atlas found him holding his stomach closed and holding a picture of his kid.
But they continued to work in the wrestling industry, went to his funeral, engaged in the we love Bruiser Brody, but then
we're not available for comment on the documentary.
Never said anything. So you poured yourself a sip there, and I poured myself a little sip of whiskey as well. And this is actually an educational moment for y'all before we talk about this last piece. Old Smoky, the Moonshine Company. If you ever buy the shots, like you buy how we drink out of airplane bottles for most of this podcast. They don't put them in bottles. They put them in little mini moonshine jars. You peel the label off of that. You got yourself a brand new shot glass. There, buddy. That's how you save yourself a little bit of money. Reuse what you got.
And I love the little
recycle.
Perfect. You're so green.
Right? Cheers.
So, cheers. I'm going to take a sip. But I sent you I'm going to pull it up real quick, the list of the episodes that they're going to be talking about this season and the people. Like, I mean, the two-parter on Chris Benoit is heart-wrenching. The Owen Hart story of Owen when he died. I remember watching that pay-per-view and like I called my parents in because it was shocking what happened. Like, oh, this is wrestling. I'm like, no, no, no. And then they suddenly
Nope.
realized, like, oh shit, why are the announcers crying? This is real.
We were
They're
part
not
of that
showing the ring.
generation where our parents told us that's fucking wrestling, but a lot of real shit happened when our generation watched wrestling.
Oh yeah,
That
those guys were
crossed that
all
fucking
on
line.
drugs. Yeah. So this season are a lot of things from like that era. Earthquake, the real story of John Tenta, the man who was considered so bad, but like
that's going to be interesting because Earthquake John Tenta. I know a little bit about Earthquake John Tenta, but he was a shark in the Dungeon of Doom.
WCW
Was there a
misused
crazy
so many people.
drug problem or something there that I didn't pick
He
up
had
on?
health problems. He was like a gentle giant who always portrayed a bad guy. Like there's some great stories about him just hating the fact that he was always a bad guy and children would run from him because he was like a gentle giant and loved his family, but he dealt with some health issues, I believe, on his weight and stuff like that. Buff Bagwell, Terry Gordy.
Buff Bagwell is one I'm looking forward to a lot.
It was like the Chris Canyon.
I came from the generation of watching wrestling where I'm gonna sell myself out here. I like late 90s, early 2000 WCW. The era everybody hates on, where Scott Steiner was champion, Jeff Jarrett was champion, like NWO 2000 and all these weird ideas. Yes, it was really low level compared to other WCWs, but when I was watching, that was the WCW that was being marketed to me, and the top stars were Buff Bagwell, Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, Vampiro, Sting, all these people. So like
Buff Bagwell was so when you saw the Buff Blockbuster for the first time, it was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen.
He was fucking fantastic.
Real quick, I have an emergency update notification on my phone. Jalen Brunson and Stephen Curry both hit for 25. Thank you very much for that $16 return. Oh no, 15 plus $21 return.
There you go.
Well, 36 return, but $15 wager. So yeah, made 21 on that one. But yeah, nice. That works. See, every now and then I get them right.
Hopefully, the soccer bet we got together. This one here. Hold on.
It's plus 1,000.
This one here.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah,
I hopefully that.
I know I usually try to go with 3 legs, but we're going with 6 legs. I feel like it's going to be confident. We'll probably talk about how terrible I did.
We have Earthquake for Dark Side of the Ring. We have Buff Bagwell for Dark Side of the Ring, and then we have Terry Gordy.
I don't know too much about the Terry Gordy story.
I don't know much about his tragic wrestling story, but Terry Gordy.
Most of this stuff, it's what is the sad thing that happened in
storylines. Well, yeah, it's called Dark Side of the Ring. It's not called Happy Side of the Ring. But like, I don't know too much about Terry Gordy's outside of the ring past, to where this is gonna be cool for me to fucking see.
Brutus Beefcake is another one.
It's gonna be really funny to hear the fucking story of that fucking. So was it did a person jet ski into his face, or a bird hit his face, or a dolphin? It was something about his nose got broken when he was like jet skiing.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. I'm actually looking ahead at another person who I really don't know who it is, but Harley Race is one we'll get into. Chris Colt, that's one that I'm not familiar with.
I believe he was a wrestler, like a Southern territory wrestler.
Here's an interesting one. Some of my earliest wrestling memories. At first, I thought it was my father had a friend who had the old classic in the yard satellite dish. So we had access to pay-per-views every now and then. And I believe it was SummerSlam 88. The matches that I remember were the Hart Foundation and Demolition. Mr. Perfect and Texas Tornado beat Mr. Perfect for the IC title. Ravishing Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior in the cage. Jake the Snake and Bad News Brown with the sewer rats versus the snake. Like those are some of my earliest memories. But then the other day I realized there's earlier memories, and it's me jumping on my grandmother's couch who used to live across the street from me. She was like my best friend as a kid. I would see her every day after school. My grandma Jessie, one of the most amazing ladies. But I drove her nuts because I would jump off of the couch in the basement and always do these frog splashes and things like that. And I would watch Global Wrestling Federation, and Gentleman Chris Adams was the star. And I remember he was like the coolest guy. And then all these years later, I learned he is a raging alcoholic who attacked people at every moment's notice. And so I'm very interested to see that episode. Chris Adams.
He helped form kind of who Stone Cold Steve Austin was.
Yeah.
Like Stunning Steve, like before he was Stunning Steve, like Steve Austin kind of went under his for wrestling.
Went under the Chris Adams learning tree.
There for a little bit. So
God, I wonder if they got Steve for the interviews. I wonder if they got Steve.
He's got a WWE Legends deal. He's locked up. You'll notice.
Do they get WWE people?
They don't get Legends contract people. They get WWE people. But they don't, like, Jericho doesn't have a Legends contract.
Jim Ross doesn't he?
I don't think Jim Ross has a they don't give Legends contracts to non-ring performers.
Gotcha. Sherry Martel, Sensational Sherry. A lot of people know her. Sandman will be insane, I'm sure.
I think every modern female that walks to the ring with a wrestler needs to do a deep dive on Sensational
Sherry Martel, Sensational Sherry,
and
Scary Sherry, Queen Sherry.
Every woman trying to be a bitch wrestler. If you're trying to be a bitch, watch Sherry Martel. Watch Sensational Sherry. She was fucking.
It was
phenomenal.
It was Sherry or woman.
I kind of felt bad for her when Shawn would throw her down and Shawn Michaels would slap her and stuff, but like, part of me was like, she said, yeah, she could. Yeah, you kind of got the vibe that she dug it.
Yeah, but the story with her and Savage and Elizabeth is one of the best storytelling things that ever happened in wrestling.
See, I love that just as much as everybody else, but like that's the kind of a difference between the two. Like for me, like when I think of Sherry, I gravitate
the Shawn Michaels days with the chains and the white and the red.
Sexy boy in the very beginning. Yeah. He's just the sexy boy. Sexy boy. Ah.
And then our last two are Sandman from ECW, your beer swigging, cigarette smoking.
It's going to be interesting.
Man who is dangerous. How many people talk shit about him?
That character was a surfer in the beginning. The Sandman was originally like a surfboard carrying, like looked like Sting without the face paint. That's kind of what they were doing. Yeah. Sandman. So hearing the story of the transition from that character to what we all know Sandman as, is the beer swilling, ultra violent ECW legend. That's going to be really interesting to see.
Yeah. And then Black Saturday.
Not super familiar with Black Saturday.
I had to look it up myself, and it's the day that Vince McMahon took over the TBS Superstation from Georgia Championship Wrestling. And basically, some say it's the day that he took over the world and became the tyrant, and some say it's the day that he saved wrestling to keep it from being beaten by MMA down the road, and that he actually did more. I mean, it's that debate of, did he kill the territories or did he save wrestling? Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that is received in 2024
I'm curious to see who the different people talking about it are and stuff like that.
Who's going to talk good about Vince McMahon?
Yeah, oh yeah, especially after everything that's happened now.
After we realize that he is literally he's
a dude.
He likes poopy. He's 78 Shades of Grey. He loves his text messages. And
something popped up from your wife the other day on my Facebook. Something popped up on my Facebook the other day from your wife that was from 8 years ago or so. So it was our bartending days. And we used to just say quotes at the bar and people would suddenly tag us in them. And like, I don't remember what it was about, but apparently she wrote down and tagged me that Brendan Yancey just said, "This bullshit's only 25 and a half shades of light beige." and I don't know what that is in reference to, but it's something I mouthed off at the bar one night or something, and something about 20. It's like the same thing about making it hail when you throw nickels at the strip. Never mind.
We'll have to sit down one day and think about the worst things we've said behind the bar. That's an entire like 3-part episode.
Oh yeah.
But that's for another week, people of the internet.
It's the cheapest thing in here. That'd be you.
That'd be you.
Next. Sorry.
That'd be you.
I definitely did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, don't ever snap at me. Stop
Hey.
it. No, you're out.
Hey.
Get out. Get out of the bar. You're
Hey.
done. Don't snap at me.
I look at the snap and I just go, nope. I would just say, nope. Not how it works.
I had one guy behind people raise his hand one time. I was like, "Do you have a question about tomorrow's homework, or you want to order a drink like a man?" And he just slowly put it down like this.
I had someone violently shake money in my face one day while I was in the
credit card
middle
on the bar?
of making a drink.
Fuck you!
No,
you will wait.
This was the I'm purposefully making my wrist move comedically fast. I feel bad about what I said to this day. Because what I said to that person was, you better have Parkinson's. It was the most egregious, over-the-top shake I've ever seen. And it was a terrible thing that I said. And I said it in anger.
We might have to do a segment on fun bar story of the week and just come up with one of our crazy bar stories of the week. Like, I mean, there's so many, but for another time.
And people on the internet... We said all that to say, treat your bartenders well. Treat your service well.
I just noticed we've got the same people watching, that same amount of people that have been watching this whole time that have stayed in there. Thanks for staying with us this long.
Man.
Good God. Thanks for coming along on this ride. I'm sorry you don't have anything else to do on a Thursday night.
Y'all are it. Thank you once again. People of the internet, you're the best. You're the reason we're going to keep doing this. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet on YouTube, please do so. Follow Brendan at that dude named Brendan. Follow me at that dude named Mike. We apologize for anything we ever said when we were working behind a bar and when we were in the weeds. People of the internet, take care of yourselves. Drink heavy. I'm going to finish this beer real quick. Got that much left. Hold on.
I feel like I could finish this mezcal for you as well. Good night.
We'll see you guys.